How about we start with some NFL best bets on this Sunday slate? Welcome to DraftKings Contributors Pearce Dietrich, Geoff Ulrich, and Reid Fowler. Whoa. Fellas, we're starting with your favorite pick against the spread. Reid, who you going with?
Yeah, for the most up-to-date updates, Jesse, I do.
Look how warm you look. You look so warm. You have the hoodie on, which we both own, and then you put a vest on top of it.
We all have hoodies on. It's casual Friday.
Yeah, it is chilly. It is the changing of the weather. Winter is coming, everybody, and I am scared. I am terrified of who I become when it's winter. Anyway, getting back to this. Tampa Bay, guys, -4.5. Look, all the trends point to Tampa Bay not being necessarily a good bet here, right? With the Saints being really good as home underdogs. I believe they're 7-2 in their last 9 ATS. And the Bucs haven't been great as road favorites. They're 0-4 last ATS, but it's Jameis Winston heading or going up against his old team in Tampa Bay. The reports are coming out saying he's not going to be emotional. We all know that this is a big game for Jameis. And look, so Tom Brady against any quarterback right now is going to be pointing in Tom Brady's direction. I get it. AB is doubtful. He's probably not going to play. There's no secondary in Tampa Bay. There's injuries all over the board. But this is Tom Brady. He's playing out of his mind. Give me the Bucs. And the Saints winning on Monday night in primetime kept this number low, and I really like that.
Jeff, what's your pick against the spread?
Oh, man, I've been debating. There's two games I really like. I'll mention them both, but I'll just talk about one. I do like the Steelers at +3.5, close divisional game. Case Keenum starting. I know the Steelers aren't good, but it's 3.5. That's a big spread. Those teams usually play close games. The game I want to focus on here, though, is the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. And no, I'm not taking the Jets. No. This line has moved up to -11 on the DraftKings Sportsbook for the Cincinnati Bengals. And yes, I do think you should take the Bengals. Mike White is starting at quarterback for the New York Jets. So there's that. You've also got Joe Burrow averaging over 9 yards per pass attempt, playing out of his mind right now. Jamar Chase playing out of his mind, going up against the Jets pass defense, who doesn't really get that much pressure. They allow huge plays in the secondary. I'm just not sure there's anything that the Jets are going to be able to do here. They're kind of a broken team. Meanwhile, you've got Cincinnati. They're starting to believe in themselves. You've got Joe you've got Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine now pounding the ball on the ground here. The Jets give up a ton of touchdowns to the running back position too. I think Cincinnati just pours it on here. I don't think there's anything that the Jets are really going to be able to do on defense. And Cincinnati has played really well at stopping the run here. So look for Cincinnati to come out, chuck the ball. Joe Burrow throwing it more as well, and put some points up here. I don't think this -11 is giving the Bengals near enough credit.
Sheesh, 11-point spread. Pierce, what is your favorite pick against the spread?
I like the Patriots getting 4 points. I'll say it again. The Chargers are frauds. Look at who they've beaten this season. They haven't really done that. None of the performances stand out to me. And I guess some people are going to expect them to come out of the bye week and be a better team or more consistent team. They have the worst run defense in football. That doesn't get fixed in a bye week. If they've been the worst in football for half of the season, they'll be the worst against the rush for the next half of the season. And they have a really good pass DVOA, but I think that number is inflated basically by their run DVOA funnel. And you look at some of the passing performances, yes, they haven't given up a lot of passing yards, but they've given up quite a few touchdowns. They've given up some pretty efficient, productive performances, and it's just because teams haven't had to pass against the Chargers. So on one hand, I don't think the Chargers are a very good team. The Patriots, though, are going in the absolute different direction here with tons of room for improvement. We know their defense hasn't played well, but we know that Belichick will definitely improve that defense. And what you really just want to see is Mac Jones. Mac Jones is getting better every week with a pretty weak receiver core that also has a lot of room for improvement. And then we saw Damian Harris last week have a big game. I would expect another big game. I think the Patriots probably are a good bet money line this week.
Okay, how about favorite game total here? We'll start with Johnny over. Jeff.
Yeah, let's get back. I think I took the under on the Monday night game, so I'm feeling. I'm feeling good because it hit, but I'm also feeling, I needed to get back to my roots here, and let's go with an over. Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills. This game total is still under 50, 49.5. Yeah, I love smashing the over in this spot. Buffalo Bills, one of the highest scoring teams in the league, going up against the Miami Dolphins defense. They don't get pressure. They're banged up. They haven't stopped anyone. The Miami Dolphins look like they've thrown in the towel on this season already, and can you really blame them? The team is talking about trading their quarterback. This is also a team that can't run the ball, which is great for hitting overs because they play at a faster pace. So expect the Bills to put up a ton of points early. Expect the Dolphins to go into a fast-paced offense like they've basically done every game the last month and expect there to be lots of points. I think Buffalo could come close to hitting this on their own with how bad Miami has played on both sides of the ball late. But Tua should be able to move the ball here against the prevent enough. Even if you just look at the trends, Buffalo was one of the best teams at hitting overs last year. They're still 4-3 in that regard this year, but this is not a team you typically want to take the under on. And again, this total's still at under 50, so I really like the Dolphins and the Bills to go over that number.
Huge spread in that game, too. 14-point favorites, the Bills are. Pierce, what about you, dude? Favorite total?
Bears 49ers. 39.5 is just way too low for a professional football game. I know people are down on the Bears and people are down on the 49ers, but man, 39.5, how can they not go over this? Yeah, there's concern with Justin Fields being a pretty terrible quarterback, but the problem is he's got a terrible offensive line. He's constantly under duress. But if you look at San Francisco, 26th in adjusted sack rate, 26th in pressure rate, 31st in QB hits. So if there's ever a matchup for Fields to have time to find those deep passes and to just get this thing over 39.5, we don't need a great game. We just need him to move the ball some, score a limited amount of points. And then if you read Jeff's article this week at DK Nation, he's big on Eli Mitchell. Eli Mitchell against the best rush defense in football last week went for over 100 yards. Shouldn't have a problem this week. We know the Shanahan San Francisco offense is run heavy. I think people are way too down on a San Francisco team. They're not that far off. They're still running the ball effectively. Again, they don't have to be awesome. Just get 39.5 points. They can do this.
The Bears have allowed 5.8 yards per carry in the last 2 games.
Wow, that's an incredible stat. Reid, how about
if you read my article on Sunday Night Showdown, you know that Eli Mitchell, most people don't read, Jeff. Was a captain spot. And look, Jeff should be Ulrich unders. It's just like the alliteration is much better than that. And we got lucky. Everyone who bet the under last night got lucky. That should have hit the over.
Yep.
If AJ Green just turns around and knows this anyway.
I mean, even if that last touchdown wasn't like overturned.
I mean, if we're being honest, if everyone had just listened to me and bet the Packers money line, we'd all be rich right now.
It's true. We wouldn't be here. We'd actually be able to buy this.
I was too busy actually telling Brendan Glasheen's bets on Twitter. But look, Jacksonville at Seattle. Yes. Under 44.5. I know Pierce just mentioned a low point total, right, for his San Francisco. And like these are NFL teams. I get that. But Seattle with Geno Smith is not great. It is not great. Their last 3 games, Seattle, they've averaged 36 points. And look, Jacksonville even after their bye, going into Seattle as a visit, a rookie quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, going into, even though that Seattle defense is bad, that worries me. 8 unders, I believe, hit last week. And so I'm sticking with that trend. I don't like the pace of both of these teams play. Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence coming into Seattle, even though this is a bad Seattle team, I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, like Jags win that one, but totally there are not a lot of points scored. I get it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, they definitely do that.
Yep.
Favorite underdog outright, who you going with, Pierce? Is it the Jags?
Yeah.
No, it's not the Jags. I wish I could go with the Jags. I'm sorry, Emerson. I'll go with the Steelers. Jeff alluded to this earlier. And I think Jeff thinks that the Steelers are bad. Everyone thinks that it's the Steelers. They get it together. They're coming off a bye week. They're playing a team that historically they have no trouble with in Cleveland. And sure, people are going to be worried about the Cleveland pass rush. But guess what? The Steelers had a week to prepare for that pass rush. And that pass rush didn't really help them out very much against the Chargers, who laid 45 points on Cleveland. Pittsburgh will find a way. They've got enough key players in all their positions. But here's one of the really weird stats in this game. I was looking at the over-unders. Roethlisberger's over-under rushing total is half a yard. Yeah. Why is it half a yard? He should easily get over this. The only way he doesn't get over this is if, guess what? He kneels down because they're going to win this game. If you look at his negative rushing totals this season, it's been in kneel-down situations where he's taken a negative rush to set up a game-winning field goal or just to kneel down for the win. It's very strange. I think that's a clue that the sportsbook thinks that Pittsburgh's going to win this thing this week.
Reid, which dog are you rolling with?
Yeah, same. Forensics with Pierce here, looking at like umpire stats. I love that. Kneel down stats and win. The correlation is great. I'm not going to spend too much time because Pierce laid out all the points that I wanted to make. 12-5 ATS. After a bye since Tomlin has been a head coach. So, yeah, give me the Steelers at plus 155.
All right, Jeff?
I mean, definitely. I made the case for the Steelers against the spread, and this is going to be a close game. You've also got Case Keenum on the other side. I kind of like going with Pierce's call with the Patriots here, though, at plus 170 as well. I think there's a few dogs you could make a case for, and the Patriots are definitely one of them. Like, let's not forget, I mean, this team, fumbled on the goal line week 1, missed a field goal and could have gone for it and beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a few weeks ago. They easily have a winning record. They could easily be tied for the division lead right now. This is not a bad Patriots team. We've harped on this a few times this year. Mac Jones playing well. I think the Patriots do a lot of things on offense that are going to give the Chargers trouble on defense. They're absolutely live dogs here. Plus 170. That's more than better value. It's just really good value. So I like the Steelers too, but the Patriots and them are neck and neck for top underdog play for me.
Sweet Tea Fowler, I say favorite player prop, and you say
Cooper Kupp over 7.5 receptions. This guy's hit this 6 out of 7 times. And against bad teams, we've seen 9, 10 receptions. He might do this in the first half, which is what we've seen. I do think this is Darrell Henderson, a bounce back game, so he might not get touchdowns for Cooper Kupp, but receptions over 7.5. Minus 124. I think that's still a good price.
Ulrich.
Eli Mitchell over 72.5 rush yards. I mean, he's playing over 65% of the snaps. He's going against the Bears team. Doesn't move the ball. San Francisco's going to come in here and run the ball. And Eli Mitchell has proven in Shanahan's offense he can do that. So I really like taking his over prop this week.
Hey, Pierce, which player prop you like?
Najee Harris over 4.5 receptions. It might seem like a kind of a high number, but just a perception error. We don't really know who this guy is yet, but he's going to be a big deal for Pittsburgh. They've had a week to work him in the bye week into the offense. He's their best player. They're going to need him in this matchup. And against regular teams, he's gone over this number of 4 of 6 games. The times that he's missed was against Buffalo and Denver. They're the best teams against receiving running backs. He's not left Bell yet, but we're starting to see the early stages of Najee Harris look like a left Bell for the Steelers.